Away there, crew! This is your captain speaking. And today we're turning famous paintings into furry art. I'm sure everyone can recognize this first piece. It's the Mona Lisa, and I decided to turn her into a cat. It's the Meowna Lisa, if you will. I kept the lines on this piece very thin and a little more messy than usual. I think that usually makes my art look a lot better. Having less prominent lines also allows me to make it look more painterly. I gave her a nice head of hair, but now that I look at it, that's something I don't think I'll add to my furry art in the future. I'm still new to this and trying to figure things out. I do think people would still understand that it's the Mona Lisa without the hair, but I decided to keep it for the accuracy. I did, however, leave something out. She is technically wearing a veil over her hair in the painting, but I left that out. I didn't want to complicate things with the cat ears too much. As for my color choices, I stuck to similar colors that are visible in the painting, so just a yellow and brown. I didn't have a problem with this at first, but the way I choose render colors made me keep ending up with a horrible yellow for the highlight. I don't like it. But it probably won't bother most who see it. I did change the background in a very painterly way. I just used the brush I use for my rendering to block in the shapes, color picking a few new colors here and there. It came out very nice. I have been struggling with finding an appealing way to do backgrounds, and I think this is it. But here is the Meowna Lisa. I'm really impressed by this one, it looks so cool. For the second artwork, I chose Girl with a Pearl Earring. It was a little hard for me to figure out which paintings to choose, especially hard because I had to look for portraits or more portrait-like pieces. Otherwise, I couldn't exactly turn them into furry art now, could I? I also wanted to go with paintings that are recognizable to people who are not that into or have had to study art history. I myself had to study art history both in high school and uni for certain subjects, so I hope I made some decent choices for you guys. I turned the girl into a bunny. The hanging parts of the turban looked like they would translate well into floppy bunny ears. And of course, I had to move the pearl earring because of this. I had some trouble figuring out how the earring connects to the ear, but it's not very visible on pictures of the painting. It vaguely looks like it's attached to a small hoop earring, so that's what I went with for our bunny girl. I just used the original colors for my version again. I had to switch some things up a little more. The hanging part of the turban and the skin are different colors, so I had to choose only one for the bunny. I ended up going with the yellow. Her irises ended up nice and big. This makes her look a lot more innocent. Her eyes came out really nice, they're so shiny and they just look so anime. I love it. The background is very simple, but the strong lighting really makes up for it. You guys know how much I love me some dramatic lighting. But here she is, bunny with a pearl earring. This piece is so cute. Just popping in to let you know my commissions are now open, so if you like what you see and would like an artwork for yourself, please consider taking a look at my Ko-fi. I'll leave a link down in the description. Now for the last artwork, I turned American Gothic into a Beastars fan art. I'm not sure if many people will recognize it, but I'm sure I've seen it outside of classes more than I have in. Either way, it will probably look like some random painting to a lot of people still. Since this is a fan art, I got to make the artwork a lot more different from the original. No way am I not making the colors accurate to the characters. That would just mess Legoshi and Haru up. I'm really happy with how they came out. They clearly look like the characters I was trying to draw, so I'm very happy, ecstatic even. Legoshi just confused me a bit. I thought his fur was more of a blue-gray, but as it turns out, it was actually more green. His irises are also drawn very small, which usually makes characters look surprised or scared, but it looks so perfect on him. It's really well executed, specifically the anime, because that's the only interaction I have with Beastars really. Either the top or bottom eyelid is usually covering his iris a bit, which makes it look more natural. It's something I can keep in mind for the future for my own art and designs. Haru was the hardest for me to draw out of the two. Her head shape is a little weird to draw, but I think I did pretty good. Her ears also came out so cute. I could have probably made her a bit smaller though, but I didn't want to push the size difference too much. She does look pretty content. It is a little weird for me that some characters have the more realistic animal eyes, similar to how Haru's is, while others have the more anime style eyes. But I do think it meshes well together and gives more variety in character design options. Another thing I can keep in mind for myself for later. But here they are. This piece came out really great. I just love these two. It's so cute. But that's all for today. Be sure to like and subscribe to join our little pirate crew. It would mean a lot if you could help us get to our next goal of 100 subs, which we might just hit very soon. But until next voyage then, bye bye!